What's up, everybody? What's up, everybody? It's your boy, Chris. It's another amazing episode of Financipation. This channel is all about making money, saving money, building generational wealth, and financially emancipating yourself from generational poverty. On this channel, everybody, I give you a six-figure MBA level worth of investing and financial knowledge for free here on YouTube. And the things that people typically spend hundreds of thousands of dollars on learning in grad school and in business school, I give it to you for free here on Financipation. And as a guy who has his MBA, I enjoy teaching you essentially how to become wealthy. Before I get started, I want to give a shout out to Killer Solutions. They're one of my sponsors. If you need digital marketing, website development, or someone to essentially edit your YouTube videos, they are the best in the business of meeting all of your digital needs. And please hit that notification bell as well, okay, so that you know when I drop new content. One of the questions I started actually thinking about a couple of days ago was, what is the actual greatest investment account of them all? Is it the Roth IRA? Is it the traditional IRA? Is it the 401k? Is it the HSA? Is it the SEP IRA? Or is it something completely different? Well, all of these, to some extent, are tax efficient accounts, and all of them, to be honest with you, are great. I mean, to be honest, they are vastly better than a typical low value brick and mortar bank account that only gives you a 0.01% interest rate. But having said that, to me, the greatest account a person can invest into, and the one that can allow you to build amazing amounts of generational wealth, is the brokerage account. To me, that is the greatest investment account of all of them that is currently available to us in the American version of capitalism. So that, everybody, let's get started as I go into essentially the greatest account of them all, the brokerage account. So first and foremost, everybody, what exactly is a brokerage account? Well, here at Financipation, there are three main brokerage firms that I primarily talk about. And those firms are Vanguard, Charles Schwab, and Fidelity. And in my opinion, those are arguably the three biggest and as well as the best brokerage accounts in the world, because they're the ones essentially that give you the most flexibility in regards to what you can invest into. And most importantly, they offer the best amounts of investments that you can actually invest into. So think of the brokerage firms like Charles Schwab, Vanguard, and Fidelity as a house. And think of your Roth IRA, your 401k, your 529s, your UTMAs, and your brokerage accounts as essentially rooms that make up that house. So the brokerage firm is the totality of everything, and the individual things that you can invest into, they're essentially rooms to that house. So what exactly, as I said earlier, is a brokerage account, and why do I consider it the greatest investment tool in America? So a brokerage account is an investment account that allows you to essentially buy investments like individual stocks, bonds, ETFs, REITs, index funds, mutual funds, and ETFs. And many people have investment accounts like their 401k, their IRA, or their HSAs. But the major issue that I have with IRAs and 401ks is that they often come with rules about who can open the account, what the money can be used for, as well as how much you can actually put into them. And most importantly, when you can actually withdraw the funds from your IRA, your 401k, or HSA, and so forth. Whereas with a brokerage account, none of these issues comes up. And regardless of your investing experience, you should consider opening a brokerage account if you are looking to invest tactically for retirement. So now let's talk about some of the benefits of a brokerage account. Benefit number one, the main advantage that I love about brokerage accounts is that there are literally no contribution limits. So as stated previously, in 2024, with the 401k, you can invest approximately $23,000 annually into your 401k. In 2024, with the IRA, you can invest approximately $7,500 annually into your IRA. In 2024, with an HSA, you can invest approximately $4,150 annually if you're single, or $8,300 if you are married, into your HSA. But with a brokerage account, people, you can literally invest as much as you want. You can invest $500,000 or more a year into your brokerage account and not have any penalties associated with doing that. For example, if you max out your traditional IRA and put $7,500 into it every year for 10 years and buy an ETF or a good low-cost index fund that returns 10% every year, in 10 years, everybody, you would have $120,000 waiting in that account. Let's face it, because you can only invest $7,500 every year into an IRA, that honestly is not really a lot of money in the grand scheme of things. But let's use the same example. Let's say you were a wealthy individual, and for your brokerage account, you can invest $100,000 every year for 10 years into that brokerage account. And let's say you invest into the same ETFs or the same low-cost index funds that return you roughly 10% every year. People, in 10 years, you would have over 1.8 million with an M dollars waiting for you in your brokerage account. In fact, there are no annual contribution limits, period, to what a brokerage account is. And to me, that is what makes it a truly deadly account in the hands of a long-term investor that really understands the power of compound interest and understands how to invest their money into the stock market for the long haul. Next. The next benefit to the brokerage account is that there's a wide range of investments that are available for it. So if you have an employer-sponsored 401k and you switch jobs, you have probably noticed that you don't have the same stock options or bond options when you go from company A to company B. So let's say, for example, there's a particular bond or a particular stock that you really, really like at company A because you're enjoying the amount of returns it's giving you for your investments. When you switch jobs to company B, you want to invest in that same stock, bond, ETF, or whatever it is, but you can't because your company does not offer it. Well, with the brokerage account, everybody, you can buy pretty much any index fund, any mutual fund, any bond, any ETF, or any REIT or any individual stock that you want. You can invest into it regardless of what company that you work for. And as a result, you can reap insane amounts of financial rewards decades later from investing into it. So the next benefit to owning a brokerage account is that it provides the ultimate investment flexibility. You can pretty much invest into anything that you want, whether it's a mutual fund, an index fund, an ETF, a bond, a REIT, an individual stock, or property, land, or gold. Before I go any further, everybody, please hit the notification bell. You know when I drop new content. It helps the algorithm, and I thoroughly enjoy giving you all free content. Next, the next benefit to owning a brokerage account is that there are no early withdrawal fees or fines. There are no penalties essentially for taking your money out before you turn 59 and a half. So just for a recap, with the 401k, the IRA, and the HSA, there are penalties and fines that you get hit with if you withdraw your money from those accounts before you turn 59 and a half. With a brokerage account, however, any money you contribute on or earn in that account is yours, and you can pretty much withdraw at any point. In other words, people, a brokerage account is very, very similar to a brick and mortar bank account in this respect, in that whatever money you put into your bank, you can pull it out whenever you want. And in a brokerage account, whatever money you put into your brokerage account, you can pull that money out of it whenever you want. But unlike a bank account at, say, Wells Fargo or Bank of America, gives you a trashy, low value, paltry 0.01% rate of return, with a brokerage account, people, you can invest into stocks that can literally give you 10 to 15%, depending on what's going on with the stock market at the time. So unlike a bank that gives you no interest or whatever for the money that you put in, with a brokerage account, if you select the right funds, you can literally make 10,000 times more on the money that you invest into the account. So the next major advantage of owning a brokerage account is that there are no early withdrawal fees, like for an IRA or 401k or HSA, and you can withdraw the funds that you put in there before turning 59 and a half. That, to me, everybody, is a huge plus for brokerage accounts, because at the end of the day, it allows you to pick and choose when you want to retire significantly early than 59 years old. Next, the next major benefit of owning a brokerage account is the fact that there are no income limits. For example, in 2024, if you're single and your modified adjusted gross income or your MAGI is over $161,000, you cannot contribute to a Roth IRA. In 2024, if you're married and you file your taxes jointly and your modified adjusted gross income is over $228,000, you cannot contribute to your Roth IRA. In 2024, if you make more than $345,000, you can't contribute to your 401k. People, there are no income limits, however, for your brokerage account. You can literally be a billionaire like LeBron James, like Warren Buffett, or like Elon Musk, and you can still invest hundreds of millions of dollars every year into a brokerage account. The next benefit of a brokerage account, everyone, is that there are no income limits to it. And for my higher income earners, this maximizes your chances of investing and building generational wealth decade after decade. Now, because I just got done talking about the advantages of owning a brokerage account, now I want to talk about the disadvantages of owning a brokerage account, because they do exist. The first disadvantage of a brokerage account is that you can't deduct your contributions from your taxable income every year. So, for example, if you make $100,000, right, and you invest $10,000 into your 401k, the IRS is only going to tax you on $90,000 because you lowered your taxable income by $10,000. But if you make $100,000 and you invest $10,000 into a brokerage account, the IRS is still going to tax you on $100,000 that you made that calendar year. So unlike a 401k or an HSA, or some types of IRAs, with a brokerage account, you can't deduct any contributions from the amount of money that you put into your brokerage account every year. Next, the next disadvantage of a brokerage account is that there is no company match. If you watch my podcast on the financial orders of operations and the financial order of investing, the first step I tell people to do when it comes to building generational wealth after they create a budget is to invest up to their employer's 401k match if their employer gives them a free match. And the reason why I say this is because the 401k match is literally free money. It's kind of like if I told you, give me $5,000 on Valentine's Day and I would give you $10,000 on Christmas Day. Name one of you that would not take that deal. That's essentially what the 401k match is. So as a result, I advise everybody that even before the second step, which is to create a 3-month emergency fund, I advise everybody to basically invest up to their employer's 401k match because it's literally free money. And an employer-sponsored 401k match is just that, everybody. Once again, it is free money. However, with a brokerage account, when you invest into a brokerage account, generally speaking, employers don't match that. In fact, I've never heard of an employer actually matching whatever you put into your brokerage account. So another disadvantage of a brokerage account is that there is no company match. And the only money that you essentially get into it is the money that you invest yourself. Whereas the 401ks is not necessarily always the case. The last disadvantage of a brokerage account is that investing into any asset, whether it be the stock market, whether it be gold, whether it be property, land, real estate, investment, index funds, mutual funds, they do come to some extent inherently with risk, and you could lose money. Remember, everybody, the brokerage account is basically like the bank. And buying investments like index funds, like bonds, like stocks, like ETFs, like REITs, and like gold is essentially like putting money into your bank account. Past performance, everybody, is no indication of future returns. And there's always a possibility that if you invest into gold, into real estate, into index funds, or a mutual fund, or an ETF, or a REIT, or a bond, that you could lose money. So keep that in mind, everyone, when you invest, as you could lose money when you invest into any asset. Having said that, history is on your side depending on what assets you decide to invest into. For example, inflation over the last 50 years has averaged right around 3%. So as long as your returns on your investments are over 3%, that means you are making money in your investments. According to Statistica.com, over the last 50 years, from 1971 to 2024 this year, actively managed mutual fund managers and financial planners have averaged 3.5% over the last 50 years. Gold over the same time period over the last 50 years has averaged 8%. Passively managed low-cost index funds have averaged 11% over the last 50 years. And the S&P 500 has averaged 12% over the last 50 years. Past performance, everybody, is obviously no indication of future returns, and investing does, once again, always come with inherent risk. But based on the studies that were done by Forbes, by the Motley Fool, by Mad Money, by Statistica, and by Investopedia.com, if a person invests into gold or the stock market or low-cost passive managed index funds or the S&P 500 over the last 50 years, they had a 100% chance of making money. Whereas if a person does not invest into the stock market and simply lets their money sit in a trashy bank account that gives you a 0.01% interest, or they leave the money under their mattress because they're scared of the banks, everybody, they are guaranteed to lose money 100% of the time over a 50-year period due to inflation. Everybody, choose your risk, okay? Because you can either choose to invest into the stock market where there's for lack of better, over the last 100 years, a 0% chance you'll lose money, or you can choose to not invest in the stock market where there is a 100% chance you'll lose money. The choice, everybody, is yours. In closing, everyone, if you watch my content and you follow my page, you know that I constantly talk about the Roth IRA, the HSA, and the 401k. I call those the 3 pillars, and I do that for a reason because, in my opinion, they are 3 substantial pillars that any American, any human being can use to build generational wealth. But when I actually look at the numbers, I run the numbers, I look at the advantages and the disadvantages, I am slowly coming to the conclusion that if used correctly, the brokerage account is arguably the most important account for building generational wealth here in the United States of America. My advice, everyone, is to get to the point where you can max out your Roth IRA, you can max out your 401k, you can max out your HSA every year, and then get to the point where you are literally throwing as much money as possible into your brokerage accounts, okay? This channel, everybody, is all about making money. It's all about saving money. It's all about building generational wealth, and it's all about financially emancipating yourself from generational poverty. You can book a one-on-one session with me at any time. I'm not giving you financial advice on this channel, everybody. You must make your own responsible decisions based on the thorough independent research that you do for yourself. Please follow me at www.therealfinancipation.com. Check me out on Instagram at @thereal_financipation. My Spotify is Financipation. My TikTok page is Financipation. My Facebook page is also called Financipation. And check out my financial blog as well, Financipation, where I go into a lot more concepts as far as backdoor Roth IRAs, real estate investment trusts, irrevocable trust, probate things, and things of that nature. And also check out some of my digital, my e-products below as well, okay? Hit that notification bell so you know when I drop new content. And please like, comment, share, and subscribe, everybody. It's your boy, Chris. I'm out. Peace.